Kate, we see this big debate going on about what ICE can do over what they should be allowed to do, and it's all, of course, tied to money for government, for the government to run. But what does it actually mean for people on the ground, people who are being affected by this? Does it change anything for them?
Yeah, I think that, Jaden calls out the statistic telling us that 6 in 10 Americans are for the deportation of people who have committed crimes. And I think it's important to keep in mind that's a bit of a misleading statistic, because what we're talking about here with these roving patrols and these masked agents and tear gas in the street and the murder of Renee Good and the murder of Alex Preddy is that we are not seeing ICE and CBP go after people who have a criminal background. The vast majority of the people who are being targeted have no criminal background. So what the Democrats are asking for is that ICE utilize judicial warrants and due process. I mean, even just 2 days ago, the ICE director, Todd Lyons, sent a memo to his agents telling them that not only do they not need judicial warrants, they don't need administrative warrants. They can make warrantless arrests against people out on the street. That is unacceptable, and the Democrats absolutely need to be responding. We also need to see the masks come off of these agents so that they can't just be out there on the street acting with carte blanche when they bring this level of violence against the people. We cannot see this use of excessive force, these roving patrols. We need to see cooperation with local law enforcement, local and state law enforcement, rather than these agencies just coming in and disregarding what the law enforcement of the locality says. And so this is really, really critical. I mean, we're looking at video from Portland, Oregon today where they're shooting tear gas against peaceful protesters, and I disagree. I don't think that the moment has passed. I think that the American public is absolutely paying attention. We are infuriated. We are responding, and absolutely the Democrats need to keep pushing and requiring these basic fundamental rights be asserted within the Department of Homeland Security. They are not asking for that much here.
Right, Kate, as far as the legal pushback is concerned, Minnesota, the state, has gone to court to stop what it calls a massive unconstitutional surge of agents in 2 cities. That's Minneapolis and St. Paul. They're known in the United States as twin cities. Over the weekend, a judge denied that request to halt the surge, and Trump's lawyers, in fact, lawyers representing ICE, say that this lawsuit is frivolous. Do you believe this case has legal merit?
I do. I think that we'll see an appeal of this, and I hope that we see something applicable nationwide, some type of class action suit or application, because what we have seen is a lot of individual responses in cases, and we need something to apply across the board. Of course, the first backstop is Congress with funding and what we're seeing in the government shutdown. Then we have the courts to turn to. So I do hope that we see the courts step in on a nationwide basis, but right now I'm looking at what Congress is doing, and I'm urging people to keep calling your legislators, especially your Republican legislators, and let them know how you feel, because it's the flooding of phone calls that they're getting. These tally counts matter. If you text them or you leave a message, it makes a difference, and we need to keep pushing.
Over the weekend, 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father were released from detention on a judge's order. The New York Times, in fact, has been reporting, they had a front-page report in which they said that courts are increasingly ordering the release of those people arrested by ICE. They number in the hundreds. Looking at all these developments, are the courts, Kate, in your view, an effective deterrent against the excesses of this administration when it comes to immigration, particularly of what ICE is doing?
They certainly don't seem to be a deterrent. Todd Blanche, the deputy AG, whom we just saw, gave an interview also earlier today indicating that they will be actually appealing the decision releasing little Liam Conejo. So, and as an immigration lawyer, I have to do these habeas cases. It's something new and very unprecedented that we have to take bond cases into the federal court system. Usually when an immigrant is detained, you can seek bond straight from the immigration judge, but we're having to turn to the federal court system to get relief for people because the immigration court system is so broken right now, and it keeps people detained much longer. Most of the time I find that immigrants in detention who have been there for a week or two decide that they don't want to stay and fight any longer. longer because conditions are so terrible and horrible. In fact, in the Dilley Detention Center where Liam was held, just hours after his release, they revealed that there is a measles outbreak and they are now under lockdown and quarantine. And I have visited this detention center many times. I have actually toured the inside of it. I know what happens when they quarantine. Think little kids, babies, toddlers, as young as Liam or younger, stuck in a cell without the ability to go outside or to go into the lunch hall. Any parent who's been stuck in a room at the dentist office with their kid without toys knows how difficult that is. Now imagine you're stuck in a jail cell for up to 3 weeks at a time. These conditions are deplorable, and I was very shocked to see our deputy AG indicating that they would be appealing this decision. And frankly, as an immigration lawyer, I'm very tired of having to take these cases into federal court when these families, these children, these people shouldn't have been detained in the first place. They're following a legal process.
Okay, and that is where we have to leave it. Thanks to all of you for being with us.